How you doing today? Welcome to It's a Doc's Life, and thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Today I'm wearing my Mach 1 hat, and the reason I'm wearing my Mach 1 hat, my son gave me this for Christmas a year or so ago, I guess, maybe a few months ago. I can't remember. Maybe a year, maybe, you know, last December. I can't remember. At any rate, I appreciate him giving it to me because I've got a 70 Mach 1 Mustang, and today I'm going to bring my first video on that car to my YouTube channel. Started working on my 69 F250, got a lot of work coming up on that. But one of the things that I've had for a long time is my 70 Mach 1. In fact, I've had that 70 Mach 1 since 1985. It's been in my family since 1977, I believe. My brother bought it back then, traded a 66 Ford Galaxy for it, with a 289 3 on the tree is what that car had. And he traded that, and I can't remember and not inconsiderable amount of money for the car back in 1977. He was the third owner. I'm the fourth owner of the car, and I've had it ever since. It's primarily been sitting ever since. So it's got the original paint, except for the driver's side, which the original owner, his wife ran it through a barbed wire fence, and so there are three post dents in the driver's side of that car that were repaired back then, but not repaired very well. The rest of the car is all original paint. So it's not a cream puff. It's not perfect, but I started back in January of 22 to try to get the car back on the road, and things happen. You just have life that takes over, and you don't quite get there. This video and maybe one more will entail getting it to where it is right now. And then I will also talk at that point about what's going to happen to bring it forward, hopefully in the next few months to get the car back on the road and drive it quite a bit. Just some things that I'll be doing. Now, I do have a 74 Ford F100 short bed that I'm going to be working on, a 48 Ford F1, a 77 Ford F100 Ranger XLT, my 69 Ford Ranger camper special. I've got a 94 Thunderbird, a 98 Mustang Cobra convertible, and a Jeep Cherokee that I'm doing some work on. So there's a lot of things happening, plus all the things I basically take care of. Three households and lawn work and work on the property. Have about 17 acres and I'm working on that. So a lot of things going on. And it's kind of me. I'm kind of the person who's doing it all, which is fine. I don't mind that, but it does take a lot of time away from some of the things I'd really like to be able to do. Fortunately for me, this is my full-time thing now. I used to be a college professor, and so now I'm moving on and haven't done that since last August. Well, full-time since last August. I haven't done it since the early May here in 2025. So enjoy what I'm doing now and can't wait to dig in more. So I got more videos coming up. But I wanted to introduce this video and let you know about this car. I drove it to high school some. My brother was It was crazy that you let a 16, 17, 18-year-old kid drive a car to high school some. I drove that. He had a 67 Pontiac Tempest that had a 400 four-speed in it. I drove it to school some. And so I was a trustworthy kid even back then. I think I'm still a trustworthy kid, but we'll see. At any rate, I hope you come along with me. I'm documenting this for myself, for my kids, for my family, and for anybody out there who would like to know something about the car, maybe follow along. I was not and still am not a great uh, camera person, staging the shots, having the right lighting. I can do better now, but back then I wasn't doing well at all. I didn't know much about it at all. But I thought I'd try to document as much as I could. So now I've got it documented, and now is the time for me to start putting some of that out. And I hope you enjoy this video about my 70 Mach 1 Mustang. Let me know what you think. Give me your comments. The car was bought, just a quick, brief history of the car was bought brand new in Johnson City, Tennessee, which is near where I live. It's lived its whole life here. Very little rust on the car. Still have the original owner's manual, in fact. So the car has 96,000 original miles on it, but it hasn't been driven much at all in 40 years probably. It's crazy to think that, but it's been about 40 years since I've really done very much with it. So the tires are probably about 35 years old. I'm not going to drive it much without putting some tires on it. But the old car was a really nice car, still is a really nice car, and I enjoy it very much and can't wait to get it back on the road and drive it. I was waiting to do the restoration and make it perfect, but you never get to perfect. And if it is perfect, you won't want to use it. So I'm going to give some credit to Vice Grip Garage and Derek, who is all about getting the car back on the road and driving it and enjoying it. His philosophy when it comes to that, although different from mine in terms of how we get there, his philosophy about driving those cars and enjoying them is why I decided to dig back into mine and to try to get it on the road. Oh, I almost forgot. I've got a 65 Mustang Coupe that needs to be painted. Has been mostly mechanically restored and needs to be painted. So I'm going to be learning some body work and painting as well. A lot of things going on, a lot of things to get done. I'm pretty sure I'm going to die at some point and leave projects undone. But we're going to get started and try to knock some out. And if you will come along and help me and enjoy it, give me some feedback and like if you do, and don't like if you don't. Uh, Click on it, then follow along. I will try to get some content up on a regular basis on these vehicles and get some progress made so we can enjoy them. And my ultimate goal is to be able to take them on some road trips and enjoy them and video that content as well. So thank you for tuning in for this. Sorry for the long intro, but it's a passion. These cars are a passion for me, and I've enjoyed having them. I want to enjoy driving them and using them. And I've collected and been working really hard and being very busy, not able to get things done with them. So now's the time to try to get some things done and share them with my family, enjoy them for myself, and to share them with you as well. And I hope you'll enjoy this first chapter of my 70 Mach 1 project. I'm going to do something a little different today. I follow Derek on Vice Grip Garage. He and Jessica built a really nice channel, great folks, and very entertaining. I'm not trying to be that, but I do want to acknowledge someone who provides motivation for something. I think we all need motivation sometimes. And his going out and doing those revivals of cars really has motivated me to do something here in my own shop. I have a barn find, I guess you could say. My barn find was actually in my own barn, though. This is one that I've had since I was, I guess, 18 years old. Hasn't really run under its own power in about 15 years. It's been sitting here in my shop that whole time. Covered up, things have happened, you know, you get busy, you put the car away, it's under a cover, you don't think about it. And the next thing you know, it's been 15 years later. It's probably been at least 15 years. Anyway, this car has been in my family since about 1977, I think it has been. It's a good car, was whenever the last time it drove, and it ran when it was parked. But I'm not, you know, I'm here to do a revival of sorts with my own car. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the cover off so you can see what I've got here. So as you can tell, this is a 1970 Mach 1 Mustang. This has been in my family, as I said, since about 1977 or so. My brother bought it back then. I traded a pickup truck for it back in about 1985. And it's been mine, been here ever since. I do not plan on selling it. But it's not a highly optioned car. It's not a highly desirable model, other than the fact it has the Mach 1 trim package. It has been wrecked on this side. It's got Bondo here, it's got Bondo here, it's got Bondo back in the driver's side quarter. The rest of the car is all original paint, all original bodywork, everything, original interior, original engine. It's a 351 Windsor 3-speed, open differential. Not a highly optioned car at all. But we do want to see if we can get it started today. So stick with me, let's see what we can do. So turn some light on, let's see what we can do in this thing. This old car is not perfect. But boy, it's pretty clean overall. Dusty, dirty. Other than that, pretty clean overall. It's a pretty good old car. Let's see what we can do here. I know I need to take a look at a lot of things. Probably the number one thing I'll do, it looks like I got a good, relatively new fuel pump on it. Probably the number one thing I need to do is to take a look at the fuel system. and see if I can get some fuel out of there. And I'm sure the fuel's kind of is stale for sure. I cleaned the fuel tank years ago, and it was in really good shape, so I don't think the tank itself is a problem. I've got good plug wires. I've got a good cap. I may have to check a few other things, but I think all I really need to do, truthfully, is put a battery in it and hook up a temporary fuel can until I can do some work on the fuel. So let me take a look at that. We'll be back with you in a minute. As I was working on this, I started to take this off. You can see that that fuel line is hard as a rock. I don't know. It may, in fact, be the original from 1970. So I have my my fuel can here, which is really it's a fuel can off of an old, I don't know, Tecumseh engine on a garden tiller. I think that's what it was. I've got it. We'll see if it'll work. I think it'll work. Oh yeah, that'll work fine. Possible and in fact probable that I don't need a clamp on this just to test it out. It'll be tight, but I'm going to put a little clamp on it anyway because that's just how I operate. Just for testing purposes, probably is fine. Just putting this on here with friction fit. At least that hose is a better hose than what was on there. I don't think that'll leak. Probably don't need that at all because that's not going to stay on long. But I will just snug it up a little bit. Just right there. I don't have it quite on as much as I'd like. But again, I'm not going to fight with it very much just to pull it back off. So it'll do fine, I'm sure. I'm sure that it won't leak much. And the clamps are just cheap. They're not worth much, so I don't know. One of them didn't even have a slot for the screwdriver. So that's pretty cheap. Yeah. I don't know. That's not the greatest system in the world right there. Well, believe it or not, that's pretty good right there. I think we got that ready. I'm going to check out with you. I'm going to come back. We'll put a battery in it, and we will put a little fuel in it. We'll see what happens. Now I've got my battery, and for those of you who follow Vice Grip Garage, you know that the reason to select this battery is because it's got a go handle. I always laugh when he says that. But it is a valid thing. I've got, of course, it's part of the valid. I'll put this on here. We'll give it a little weight and make sure that a few mice have been in here. I can see that they've gotten a hold of my hood insulation. But overall, it looks pretty good. I'm not going to taste it. But I do think she's a little over full. Not much. Probably got a little fuel in there. Had a problem with a freeze plug. That's why I parked the car in the first place. Had a freeze plug that was leaking here on the right side of the engine. And I wanted to do a frame off restoration, make it, you know, show quality, and you just never seem to have time for anything like that. And I decided to just get it running and try to enjoy it. So that's going to be the way it's going to be for me. So here we go. Everything's in place. Let's see if it'll turn over. Let me move you folks. Put you back here. We'll see if we can, what happens if it does start here. You'll be the first to know. On these carbureted engines, you have to keep pumping the accelerator to try to get the carburetor to spray. So you hear me continuing to pump it here. You cannot beat these 351 Windsor engines. I love them. I've got several of them and will continue to own them. Great engines. Wow, I would call that a success. I do believe she runs. Well, that was very, I guess you could call that not so thrilling. It was a rather boring way to do things. But I'm also glad that it started right up. So now I just need to figure out the fuel system and make sure the fuel system that I'm going to use is right. Yeah, that looks good. Everything seemed to go well. Oil pressure was fine. Everything was good. No problems. No problems at all. Very happy. Excuse me, very happy with. I am very happy with that. That's kind of anticlimactic. Well, as I said, I'd much rather it be. I don't know if I said this, but I am very glad that it was a boring type of thing. It's been sitting. It really has not started in at least 15 years, I would imagine. Got my 70 Mach 1. I was working on it a little bit earlier, and as it turns out, I got it started. That was pretty anticlimactic, but the fuel tank is just junk, so it's not going to ever run with this fuel tank. What I'm going to do is, I've already ordered a new fuel tank. That's going to be here. I'm going to go ahead and take this one out. Show you kind of what we're dealing with here. Probably can't see this very well. There's not a whole lot. Let me see if I can turn some light on for you here. Here we go. This is the trunk of my car. You can see it's pretty good shape. It's been sitting around way too long. I need to do some work with it here. Looks like it may have had a trailer hitch at some point. I don't ever recall that, but it's there. And I need to clean this mess out. There's a lot of junk in here that needs to come out completely. My original hubcaps. These are the hubcaps that came on the car back in 1970. This car was bought brand new just up the road from me, from the dealership up the road. I've got the original owner's manual, and I have the information when the car was new, and I guess that's the original spare. High performance bias ply Monarch road hugger. It probably isn't the original, but it's an interesting spare. Okay, I've got the original jack there, jack handle, and jack handle. I've got lug nuts. A little bit of rust, surface rust starting on the fender there, the inner fender. I need to get this thing squared away. So over the next few weeks, that's going to be the mission, to get it squared away. Move things out of here that I don't need to have in. I'm going to work on this. I'll come back and take you along when I start taking things apart. I think I got a start here. Let's see. You can hear the water, the water running outside from the. Got some mouse droppings here. Oh, let's see how bad this is going to be. Oh, it's not too great. No fun. It'll be what it is. All right, clean all that up here eventually.
Alright, so now I can pull all this garbage out. And there's a lot. Like I said, I've got a new fuel tank on the way. Already been shipped. Shipped today. Ordered it earlier. So fuel tank's on the way. What is that? Let's see here. I gotta get in here and clean all this up, and I will before I start putting the other tank in. So that's going to be part of what I do, is clean it up. Do a little rust proofing, I guess. Let's see what size this is. This is a, whoa, that's way too big. And if that's too big, that looks like it might be a 3/8. So as we start down this path of working on this car, I have a lot of other projects. I hope I'm not the only person who does this. I have way too many things that I want to do. And when you have too many things you want to do, sometimes you don't get very much done. I'm going to try to get better at this stuff. Try to be a lot better at it, I should say. I had this tank out about, I don't know, probably about 1997 or 8 maybe, 5. It's been a while, but I had it out, I cleaned it up, I repainted it. Didn't see anything at that point that gave me any pause, but what I didn't realize, I didn't clean it well enough, I'm sure, and it ended up rusting out. Oh, low bridge, everybody down. Let's see, somewhere up here there's one right there, and I bet there's one right here, and I've got new hardware coming, so laying those to the side probably is immaterial. I bet that's going to be hard to get up. It has decided to become permanently enjoined, I bet. Okay, let me go grab a screwdriver. Right back with you. Now, you probably can't see this very well. Got a light there. So the fuel filler on these Mach 1s, right here in the center of the back, it's a flip open cap. I'll show you. It's a flip cap. So it's really nice. It's a very nice thing. My filler neck looks really good, so I think I may have gotten too big. That's way too big there, so I don't want to do that. I may have gotten a screwdriver that's too wide for these. Let's see, that's the way it works. Okay, let me go back and get a better screwdriver. Here's a relic. It's the old wooden handle screwdriver here. I think my father-in-law had this one. I got some new ones. There's a company that makes these in the U.S., Kansas, if I remember correctly. If I remember, I'll try to put a link into them. They are really nice. I've always liked the wooden ones. The ones I have from the, I can't remember the name of the company, but the ones I have from them, they look like a work of art. They're really pretty. And there is beauty in everything, if you can just appreciate it. So I appreciate companies that do a great job. This hardware looks pretty good. Although I have new hardware on the way, this could have been cleaned up and reused. I'll probably, I don't know, I'm not sure how I'll do things. The hardware came with the gas tank that I bought. This hose, I'm sure, is not something that I'll be able to reuse, even if I wanted to. It's really, I recall it not being in great shape in the past, and I'm sure it's in no better shape now. probably should just cut that off. I'd save a lot of time and effort because it's not going back on the car. Well, let's see. Can I cut it? I'm sure I can. Wow. Make sure I cut it in the same place more than once. That's probably a good idea. You know, if I cut it 1,000 times, but I cut it every time in the wrong place, I'm not really helping myself. We're in a different place. I think I felt that go all the way through right there. There it did. We're good. Close this up. Never leave your box knife, utility knife, never leave that open. Because it's as dangerous as an open knife. Oh, let's see. Can I get that off of there? This part doesn't appear to be cut quite so well. Oh, I think I just felt it go. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. I think that got it right there. I think I might have gotten, let's see, this would be 52 years worth of service out of that. I'd say it's pretty much done. So it looks like we're finished up here with the exception of just pulling it up. Oh, that's going to be a bear. That's going to be a bear. I don't look forward to this at all. I don't want to beat up the back of my car at all. Let's see. How can I get up under that without really making a mess of my car? I don't know. Maybe I've got something I can put here. I do. I've got something. I'll be right back. In the age of Amazon, you always have protective material. Let's see, is there a less corroded? I don't think it's terribly corroded. It's just sealed. It's created its own little seal, and I don't like that. But let's see here.
Now, it seems like I would have remembered that there is a sealant applied between the gas tank and the bottom of the trunk there. I've had it apart before, so I don't know what was going on with my thinking, but that was what was happening here.
Now, don't get me wrong. I can't pull this out yet. I've got to disconnect the parts that are underneath the car. As my friend Jerry Rosa says, don't force it. Get a bigger hammer. Let's see. Probably I'll get a mouthful of all kinds of things by climbing under it and doing something. Maybe I'll wear a mask, and we'll try that anyway. Maybe we'll move on to that. So there we go. You may not be able to see everything. You can see there's a lot of cobwebs under this car. It's just been sitting for a long time. Judge not. And I just need to get this up off the floor a little bit farther. I don't need jack stands or anything like that. I just need to get it up off the floor a little bit. You know what's bad? I think I put these tires on way back about 1995. Oh my goodness, and the little rubber nibs on the tires still aren't worn off. That really makes me sad. Just sad. Alright. Well, this is what we'll do then. Alright, can you see that? I hope so. I don't know. Maybe you can see that. There we go. So we have just the sending unit here. See the sending unit with very bad lighting, but the sending unit, let me see if I can help you a little bit. There's the sending unit which just unscrews. The wire plugs into the sending unit. So that wire is just the only signal to the car. And I have the clamp loose there, so that's good. Now I'm under this car, and everybody, you all know this because you just saw what I was doing. Under the car with no jack stands, but understand that this car is not, if it fell right now, it would not hurt me. It wouldn't crush me or anything. It's not that low. I just did it so I'd have a little bit more room to work. And I'm not going to be under here long. I just want to get this thing, if I can. Got my baby pair of pliers here. Yeah, it's too big. Let's see. Can you see that? I hope so. That's loose. That's loose. And that's probably... those are the things I need to do first. It is going to leak everywhere, I'm afraid. Maybe what I will do is not pull this part off, but instead pull this part off. I don't know. Let's back my head there. There you go. I think you can see that. So I'm going to pull this off here and see if I can't maybe convince the fuel tank that it needs to do something besides be where it's at. Where it is, where it's at. Is that good English? Is that proper? I do not want to drop that off. Well, maybe I can do that. And I won't be terrible. Seems like there's some fuel in there, though. I'll bet you it's going to leak like a sieve right there. And I don't want that. So, let's see if I can figure out another way. I'm sure that I'll have new clamps in my hardware. So I'm not really worried about these, but I'm just going to get them out of the way. It's hard to work with one hand. I don't like this too much. Let's see here. You know, I should probably just cut the end of that hose right there. Up here as far up as I can. And save myself a lot of heartache. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this up here so it's not going to fall on me. I think I will cut that hose. I'll be right back. To make life a little easier for us, we're just going to cut this thing right there. To make life a little easier, we're going to cut it. Looks like the line goes to right there. Oops. Don't do this to me. Go easy on me. Here we go. I don't know. I don't know where I did the last cut. So I think it's right there. If it's not, then I'm sure I'll see it after the fact. There we go. That looks good right there. All right, so now I think that's going to be good. Oh, don't do that to me. Here we go. I think I put some, oh, that's really good. I remember now. I put RTV or something in it. Oh, that's going to make life interesting. No wonder it won't move. It's sealed up, though. I'll give it that. Oh, let's see here, folks. I remember now. Yeah, maybe you can see this. There's some RTV right up there, peeking through this hole, so I can see it. The original exhaust on this car, by the way. Air shocks installed back in the late 70s, I guess. The original exhaust with the Ford muffler. Single pipe out the back here. Ah, this is not going to be fun. I was hoping for a better outcome than this, honestly. However, now my confidence level is shaken. And my certainty of success is dramatically reduced. Let's see here. What do I see up here that would help boost my morale? Is there anything that will boost my morale today? I don't know. I don't think I see anything right now that'll boost my morale. I would almost bet you could lift this whole car up before that'll let go. Well, that's great. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. You do what you got to do. At the time, it seemed like a good idea. Did you ever have one of those moments that seemed like a good idea at the time? What to do? Well, I'm not going to get it done sitting here thinking about it. I bet the whole tank would bend if I took anything else, if I tried to put any pressure on it. So it probably would just collapse into itself. So that probably isn't going to work very well. Maybe a putty knife from on top. Maybe that's the answer. At least I know it's loose here on the bottom now. So let's go see what we can do. Maybe if I drop it down a little bit. Oh, that looks like it might be a little better. Maybe that'll help you. I don't know. Maybe. Let's hope. Now, yet, even with that, you still have only the possibility of seeing what you want to see. Oh, that was not a very smart move, putting this in here this way. Yep. Yep. I never thought about that at all. You know, I'm sure you guys, some of you may have had the same experience where you just don't think. The ramifications are severe in circumstances like this. You know, I like to think that I'm as prescient, I have as much forethought as the next person. I don't think that's, sometimes things like this tell me that it's not really true. That I'm not all that capable of forethought. Maybe I'm not. No wonder that wouldn't just pop out of there. I wondered about that. Let's see. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Let's see. This little hammer does a pretty good job of getting up under there. If I could expand this a little bit, maybe I would start making progress. Okay, come on now. Be good to me. That is crazy. That's in there, my friends. That is in there. Well, one thing for sure, it wasn't going to leak into the trunk of the car. That wasn't going to happen. It just wasn't going to happen. It wasn't. There's no way. So, you know, I guess if there's a bright spot, it was going to not be a car that had a lot of moisture leaking in from the bottom. Of course, it sat in my garage ever since, probably. I did this work to it, so it probably wasn't going to have a lot of water leaking in anyway. So let me show you. I finally got myself a piece of wood, put it across underneath the strong corners of the fuel tank and jacked it up with my jack. And here it is. It is popped loose, ready for removal. So now, all I gotta do is removal. Let's see if I can removal right now. I don't know what kind of carnage I've created underneath there, but doesn't really matter. There we go. So now, you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. Here we go. And it's not in bad shape. Just a little, I just put a little bit in there. Probably not as much as I thought, obviously. A little piece of oak made a difference. Oh, straighten everything out, clean it up, paint everything up here. I think I'll be in good shape. We're all ready for the work that needs to begin when I get my new fuel tank.